The Place Beyond the Pines is a 2012 American epic crime drama film directed by Derek Cianfrance with a screenplay by Cianfrance, Ben Coxio, and Darius Martyr from a story by Cianfrance and Coxio. A stunt writer turns to robbery in hopes of building a better life for his child and lover, drawing the attention of a determined rookie police officer. Their lives intersect in a way that sets both men and their families on a fateful and irreversible path. All right, so I've just watched The Place Beyond the Pines, which is a movie that I sort of just found on Netflix. It's not necessarily a movie that I was like hugely anticipated to see or like hugely excited to watch, but it is a movie that I like heard about or like heard some rumors about, and then it sort of just like dissipated. You know, it's not necessarily like been on my radar, but I was aware of it. And I think largely like the mainly why I haven't seen this film yet, because I have to say right off the bat that this is a very, very beautifully crafted indie drama film. He was a lot better than I was expecting, and I believe the reason I was so misled is because I believe on like Rotten Tomatoes it's like 79% or something. But I mean, this movie is hugely underrated. It is genuinely a gem. I feel like when people talk about Ryan Gosling and his filmography, The Place Beyond the Pines isn't like, it's literally not a movie I ever hear when people talk about his filmography. It's sort of just like swept under the rug. But I mean, the fact that this is stacked with so many A-listers, like it's an indie film, you know, it's by no means like a blockbuster, even though it has, you know, leading stars like Ryan Gosling and Bradley Cooper. And it has like, even though it's an indie film, it has so many A-listers. Like we got Ray Liotta, we got Mahershala Ali, Eva Mendes. I'm forgetting the other actress's name. I mean, we have a younger version of Green Goblin from The Amazing Spider-Man. But yeah, I mean, there's like a whole ton of actors in this. But I'll start off by saying that this film, the best thing that this film does is that it avoids melodrama. It instead offers quiet and a grounded, nuanced portrayal of human struggles and flawed relationships. This is very much like sort of a character study, mostly like 3 character studies, if anything, because this is split into 3 acts. It's a 3-act linear structure. And Ryan Gosling, Eva Mendes, they deliver standout performances, in my opinion. I believe, well, they're also married in real life, but I believe they met on set. So I thought it was very funny, or not funny, but like interesting and cute. I thought both of them just imbued characters with authenticity and emotional complexity. Like literally all of these characters are so well nuanced and so well written. Around the halfway point, that's when the story sort of takes a bold turn. That's when they introduce like new characters and perspectives that really keep the viewers engaged. It shifts, you know, POVs. There's like 3 main characters. There would be like Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper. Ryan Gosling, who's like the stunt driver, Bradley Cooper is the rookie officer, and then you see the perspective sort of in like the last 20 to 30 minutes-ish of the perspective of Ryan Gosling's son. Who's played by the younger Green Goblin. I'm forgetting the name. Dane DeHaan, I think. Dane DeHaan. But yeah, he does a fantastic job as well. But yeah, this movie weaves multiple tragic arcs together, and it does a wonderful job explaining sort of the ripple effects of past choices across different lives, you know, showcasing how our actions have consequences, not just like a day from now, but like 15 years from now. You know, that there's that big of a time jump in this film. The movie is visually subdued. The cinematography is not like necessarily the biggest component of this film. It focuses a lot more on the mood and the realism as opposed to like the style and spectacle of it all, which is another reason why I say that this is not meant to be a blockbuster. It's not meant to be a spectacle. It's really just something, you know, it's a slow burner, to be honest. And like I said before, it has multiple character studies in it. But I mean, I think if you love film, then you'll love this movie. It also, yeah, like, so I mentioned the time jumps before. The shifts in time I thought were very easy to follow. It, of course, added depth to the unfolding story. I absolutely loved the concept. And at no point did it ever become convoluted. I was never confused on who a certain character was supposed to be. They never remained enigmatic throughout the entire movie. Um, but I will say that this movie is very, very bleak. I guess another word would be like drowsy. I'm not sure if that's the correct word. From very early on into the film, you sort of get a sense of the doom that is hanging over the narrative. There are, even in like very minimal moments of happiness, it's always tinged with this inevitable decline. Characters don't necessarily have redemption arcs. Characters that are good have like bad endings. Characters that you believe are bad have good endings. And so, just kind of showcases how life is not fair. But that's what I love. It doesn't shy away from portraying good people caught up in very corrupt systems. And it especially highlights the consequences of silence in the face of wrongdoing. There's a very interesting moment where, you sort of see the corruption within a system. And in my head, I was like, whoa, does this actually happen? But, you see the way people treat their coworkers and their peers, and you're like, oh man, this seems like it could be based off of real life experiences, which is very sad and harrowing, but again, just added much more depth to the narrative. There is a black character in this film who, I guess I would say it was an intentional directorial choice. He sort of gets sidelined. He's like in my opinion, like the only morally sound character in this film, and he sort of gets sidelined amidst the very white-centric story arcs that are occurring. And I believe that was sort of an intentional choice that sort of reflects on the real life inequities, Of course, the marginalization of minorities and demoralization of them. And so I thought, hopefully that was an intentional directorial choice, because that black actor doesn't have that much screen time, or black character doesn't have that much screen time, but they are definitely the most morally sound, virtuous character in this narrative. This movie also raises questions about several themes, such as integrity, sins, the price of complicity, of not acting on your instincts, or acting on your instincts a bit too much. Some people make very rash decisions that haunt them in the future. But yeah, again, I just have to repeat myself here, saying that this is not a popcorn flick by any means. This is not a summer blockbuster. Even though you see Ryan Gosling on the poster and you see Bradley Cooper, this is not something that you expect there to be like lots of tense action sequences. I mean, there are. I mean, the stunt driver, he literally robs banks, but nothing too. It's interesting because most bank robberies and scenes are meant to be like high adrenaline pumping, thrilling scenes. This one is sort of like showing the moral detachments that this character has and how desperate he is that he's doing this, because he has a serious motivation for why he's robbing these banks, and it's really sad and kind of tragic. He's just trying to be a better man, but like I said, most characters don't have great redemption arcs. They don't necessarily get the ending that you expect them to get or hope for them to get, which is why this movie is so realistic. This movie is deliberately measured. It is emotionally muted, and it is definitely best appreciated with a very open and contemplative mindset. I guess if I had to point out a flaw for this film, I think some plot elements, mostly like illogical decisions here and there, that can frustrate the viewer, but it did not, for me at least, detract from the significance from the film's overall emotional weight and craftsmanship. What Derek Cianfrance does here, I think, is very masterful. I believe he worked with Ryan Gosling before in Blue Valentine. And so it's cool. I haven't seen Blue Valentine. It's not necessarily a film I kind of want to see because I know it's like a, melodramatic romance, and those are not my type of flicks. But I mean, it's cool for them to reunite again. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention before I mentioned, this is sort of like an indie thriller, not necessarily blockbuster. I've mentioned that several times now. I guess if to sort of paint you a picture of what this movie kind of is like, I'm not sure if you guys have seen Drive, which is another Ryan Gosling movie. Ryan Gosling's character in this film basically inhabits the swagger and style of his character in Drive. It's very similar, and I think what both movies have a very similar, distinctive style in that, you know, they're like indie dramas, but also they have those thrilling and suspenseful moments. And so that's kind of what this movie was like. I think as a whole, it's a drama, and then it has like itsy bitsy thrilling sequences here and there. But at the end of the day, it's a character study. It's not meant to get you super hyped and adrenaline pumped. It's really just to, acknowledge the flaws in human society and relationships and dynamics, the greed and corruption of humans. Um, but yeah, overall, this movie was so well acted. I thought everyone did a fantastic job. Even the actors that played the sons in the future, I thought they were brilliant. I think they were like early 20s, which is crazy. It's very thought provoking, and it has some very smart storytelling choices, and very rich emotional undercurrents. I think this is a movie that people should very much see. It is, again, it's so highly underrated. I really hope people watch this film. I hope it doesn't go under people's radars like it almost did for me. But yeah, overall, loved it. I'm going to give The Place Beyond the Pines an 8 out of 10. That's about it. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.